Hello, welcome back to PlayStation Access. My name is Dave, and I'm joined today by Nathan.
Hello.
And more importantly, Nath, we are joined by the incredible No Man's Sky.
By the universe.
Which, oh man, don't get me started. Which, if you don't know what it is, you must have been on another universe for some time, as everyone's talking about it. It's the procedurally generated universe.
It's a space game
About exploring. This is 17, hopefully, tips for surviving the universe. And I want to just say at the start that, you know, you might want to discover a lot of this stuff on your own, in which case this video, you would consider it had spoilers.
But it is spoilers.
Exactly. So if you don't want any spoilers, look away now. So the first tip, Nath, as someone who's played a lot of No Man's Sky now, is to scan everything.
Okay.
So, scanning is not an innate ability. It's something that you have to build into your multi-tool.
Okay.
So you, the player, have a multi-tool, which is, as it sort of sounds, a weapon, or it's a scanner. It's
is it a spanner?
A mining. Is it a spanner? That's a good question. I don't think so. I haven't come across that upgrade yet. The reason you want to scan everything is because two main things. First of all, you immediately get some units, which are, you know, a kind of currency in the universe. And also, I think kind of importantly, you get this little readout that you're seeing on the left. Temperament there is key to knowing whether or not you're in danger. What's more, you also kind of find out what they eat. So here's a weird thing that people have found on the internet. You can feed the animals.
Oh.
So if you get close enough to an animal, I'd suggest a friendly one. You get a button prompt. I did this last night to check.
It's like a space dog with a funky tail.
You could name him if you want. You get to feed the animals, and that then they just get a smiley face and they kind of follow you around. I'm sure there's going to be more to it than that. If you have scanned everything, you can then give it a name, and then you get more credits. So my point is, by scanning things, it's a very simple way of
generating
getting loads of credits
and also
quickly.
Investigating the world. Pactar.
Yeah, exactly. And also, just you're the first person to have ever seen that species. You can put your name on it. So the next thing, similarly, is when you land on a planet, the first thing you want to do is take note of this information that comes up on the left again.
Okay,
weather
scorched planet. And
sentinels, I think, are very important. So weather, I mean, often you know when you land, like, this is a cold place. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
So then you know what you're dealing with in terms of what's going to be, what's going to be troubling your exosuit. Do you need defense against something, to keep you warm? Do you need something to keep you cool? It will also tell you if there's like radiation and toxicity.
What you're saying is basically read the instructions that come with every planet.
Yes, definitely. But also sentinels. So sentinels are those little flying sort of robot droid things that you've seen. If they're very aggressive, if you mine too much, or you won't have to mine a lot to get their attention and get their fury. So it's a really good, handy little tip when you land on a planet to find out what's going on. So next up is know your elements. I wanted to do like a Rage Against the Machine style.
Know your elements.
Know your elements, but I'm not going to do that. So the game is there's a lot of mining in this game. Elements are used for everything. They're used to power your suit. They're used to power your ship.
I like the way they just fly into you.
It's really pleasing. I really like it.
Imagine if it came, you had to craft a dustpan and brush.
You can do it from quite a distance as well. I mean, I'm quite close here, but you can do it from quite a distance.
It's a bit like the bolts in Ratchet & Clank.
You'll see you get 2 at a time, but then when you deplete that circle on the left, you get a whole bunch.
Nice.
And that's just really, really pleasing.
Yum.
So elements are split into 3 main categories to begin with, although there are more, which are oxides, which are yellow, isotopes, which are red, and neutral, which are green.
Okay.
Although there are also sort of rare elements as well, and each of them has a different kind of a purpose, so which you need to be aware of. So oxides can be used for sort of building stuff and replenishing, like shields. Like my ship's shields use titanium to sort of replenish.
Yeah.
Isotopes are about power, so plutonium. There's I think it's a made up one, I hope, called Thamium-9.
Right.
That powers your ship's pulse drive. And really you need to know some important things about these. You need to know what they do, You need to know how, particularly, you need to know how abundant they are.
Yeah.
Because space is a major thing in this game, as in the space you have in your suit for keeping things.
I see.
And
Inventory
you need to
space.
know, you're going to need to make a lot of decisions. So, for instance, plutonium, I'll tell you for free, is everywhere.
Right.
So if you need to make a decision, just drop the plutonium, because although it powers loads of stuff, it's really useful.
You're mining an asteroid.
So you can mine asteroids, which is very important, particularly because you'll spend a lot of time to begin with getting thamium-9 on planets from little plants, and it takes a long time.
Right.
You don't need to do that because you can get it from asteroids, and they're all around
They're filling up space.
all the spaces. So the next thing is don't mine everything.
Really?
Yeah, which is probably a trap that I immediately fell into. You see a big lump of gold for the first time, and you're
Right.
like, I am going to mine
Gold's important.
that gold. Gold is not important. I've been carrying that gold around with me for the whole of my game. I've not sold it.
Maybe you'll get to like a planet where they love gold.
I'm waiting for that. To be honest, I found some more gold today, and now I've just realised now, like that's perfect time to sell it. Like I found some gold. Why am I keeping
the old
keeping
gold.
hold of this? Some of these tips sort of cross over because again, this is about
Inventory management.
which is so key. And in fact, I'm going to come on to that in a minute. I also want to talk about knowing your formulas. So elements can be put together to make
This is like a science lesson.
to craft certain other things that can then craft certain other things.
Right.
You need to know what you're looking for all the time, and a key tip is just to pin things. So you can see here I'm looking to make a dynamic resonator. If I just pin it, then on my HUD at all time it's reminding me what I need to be looking for, which is really, really important because you can just run around picking everything up. And
I think that we've all played kind of games
where
where you're looking for kind of ingredients for things, and it's nice when the inventory system is giving you a little checklist, because otherwise you're like writing stuff down in a notepad and getting sad.
Exactly, yeah, it gets a bit weird, doesn't it? So then my next point is, which is something we've touched on, slots are gold dust. So slots are the spaces you have, and you have them in your exosuit, and you have them in your ship, and you have them in your multi-tool.
Okay.
So here, this is
just every kind of box is a slot?
just a box. So it's really important because slots are used for both carrying something and also upgrading something. So you have to make that decision. Do I want to install an upgrade? Do I want to just carry around a resource with me to sell or
I
give
see
to
what
someone?
you're saying. So it's like a shared.
So these little buildings here, they look like little weird sort of landing pods. They're the only way that I've discovered anyway that you can upgrade, and every time you find a new one it costs more and more units to upgrade.
That makes sense.
But it's the same with your ship, and it's the same with your multi-tool. So ships and multi-tools, I think you sort of judge the value of them based on how many slots they have.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll find something, and it'll have less good tech in it, but it has more slots than what I've got, and I will go for that because that's going to be useful. I can build into that how I want. That you can also swap things between your suit and your ship. So there's decisions to be made there about what you're carrying with you.
Is it like a stash in a regular kind of RPG?
Yeah, I guess so. You can always put things back into your ship no matter how far away you are from it, as far as I can tell, but you can't transfer things from your ship to your suit unless you're very close to your ship.
So if you're forming a one-man away team, make sure you've got everything you need.
So that's like another sort of layer of being aware of what have I got on me, what do I need on me, and it's particularly when you get to like trading posts and things. If you don't land on a landing pad, things on your ship aren't available to sell, so you need to be aware of that. So speaking of ships, the next thing I want to talk about is ships. I'm a massive fan of spaceships in general, and this is one of the most exciting things I think in the whole game so far, is finding a crashed ship, because
can you fix it?
You can fix it up. There are two ways to get ships, as far as I'm aware, in No Man's Sky. You can buy a ship off someone, which is very expensive.
Hey, wait, Dave, can you just explain to me what planet you're on here?
I didn't call that. I haven't named this one yet. Unini Noplu. No, it's not. I didn't do that.
So you can find ships and then fix them up.
Yeah, so you can find them or you can buy them. So buying them is very expensive. finding them is free,
What a
but
hunk of
fixing them
junk.
up isn't so free. So this is the kind of payoff. So here I found a ship.
Abandoned
It's got
starship.
more slots than mine, as we'll probably see in a minute. But you can see all those exclamation marks over systems. They're
Right.
all broken systems.
And you go on them and it tells you what ingredients you need to.
Yeah, so it go on them. It tell me how to fix them up if I've got those things on me already.
You're a very capable engineer.
But there are extra. There are extra things to take into consideration. Obviously, it doesn't know what I'll repair first. So if you repair one system, that might use elements that you're going
Right.
to use to repair another, and then you're like, oh, I haven't done that. And hyperdrive, for instance, that's a particularly tricky one. When you start out, you build a hyperdrive, you fuel it up, then you find another ship, and it's got a broken hyperdrive. And it's not just a case of fixing the hyperdrive, you then have to fuel it up as well, and you
Right.
can't get your fuel out of your ship.
Huh.
What you can do, however, is because there's loads of sort of juggling at this point, is you can still use your ship. So if I accepted here and said, okay, yeah, I'll take this new ship on, you can still go back to your old ship. You can still get access to all the stuff that was in your cargo, and you can also
Do you have to manually move your
pro
cargo
tip.
over to a new ship?
you do it. You can do it from this screen,
Right.
but you can also do it. If you can go
You can
back
leave
to it.
Nice.
Pro tip is you can discard, or what do they call it, break down old systems into their constituent parts. So if you are leaving a ship behind, you're not going to go back to it. It's a good idea
Break it
to
down for
smash
parts.
everything up and take all those lovely elements with you. But finding a ship is, I think it's so exciting, and the best way to do
Yeah.
it is because stumbling upon them is probably going to be quite difficult. If you hack a beacon or something, a signal, which we'll come on to, and look for a transmission, then you quite often find distress signals, and that's where you find crash ships, is at distress signals, which is really, really ace. Right, next up, whilst we're on ships then, you've either found one or you've bought one and you've gone into space. Space is deadly.
I was going to say, this is combat, Dave.
It's super deadly, so you need to be prepared, because you
to
don't have to
recharge your
do
defences.
anything to annoy people. So I was just speeding across space here towards this planet, and you get intercepted by pirates, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't really escape unless I don't know if you've got a particularly fast ship or something, because you can't use your pulse drive when you're being
They
attacked.
interrupt your kind of faster than light travel. Is that?
Yeah, they do, exactly, which is a big problem. The next thing you need to know is what I'm doing here. You need to know how to recharge your ship. So I think this is the first time I had a battle with anyone. I was just flying around quite happily and then got attacked, and my shield's going down. The shield's at the top left of the screen,
I gotcha.
and I was like, I don't know what to do about this. And you have to, it doesn't take care of itself. You really have to kind of hold
You have to go
its
into the
hand.
menu,
You have to
and it's
go
not
into
paused.
it's not paused. You have to go into the menu. Your shield's down. You have to find.
It's like when
the
Luke's
right
flying his
element.
X-wing and he's like leaning to the side and trying to fix stuff. Although
I really like it.
he had R2. Imagine if you could get like a little droid to help you.
Oh, that would be cool. Maybe in an
The hook
update.
side.
I'd love that. So you need to know what recharges your shield. What element does it use?
Oh, he's got
You
the
need to know.
phasers, that was mean.
I know, it's cool. You can also get other things other than elements. You can get things called shield shards, which are like good for replenishing shields. So you need to make sure you have a stock of this stuff. Like, even if you are intending to be the most peaceful, friendly person in the game, it's really not down to you, because these pirates, they come out of nowhere and they don't care, and there's really no escape.
It's
So-
almost like this is some kind of no man's land in the sky.
What we could work with that. Could we
I
do
know.
something with that? A
Yeah.
no man's land in the sky. Also, when you've destroyed ships, like I just did so expertly, be sure to go over to those little glowing
I was going to say,
things.
I'm pretty sure I saw you kind of scoop up some gold a second ago.
Yeah, exactly, because you get whatever's in their cargo.
Very nice.
I haven't attacked any sort of cargo ships yet, so
Sure.
I assume it's the similar sort of thing. There is a huge
that
cargo
looks
ship.
cool.
Another tip, this is just a little one, just make sure when you get into new systems you use your scanner. Don't forget that your ship has a scanner as well as your suit, and
Right.
quite often you'll find a signal that will get you on your way to something. Look how cool that looks.
Very nice.
That's amazing. I think that's amazing, and I just found that facility, which was exciting.
I like
Okay.
the way those binoculars work.
Yeah, so this is my next point, which is know your buildings.
Right.
So there are a lot of buildings in No Man's Sky, and to begin with, you'll just be visiting them all and just being like, this is absolutely amazing. But when you play it a little bit longer, you realise certain buildings have certain things, and you can kind of prioritize like what am I looking for at this point. So those pod things, as I explained earlier, that's where you get an exosuit upgrade.
Sure.
You always get an exosuit upgrade in there, so you want to go there. This is a trading post, so all you're going to be doing here is trading. You know you're going to find an alien life form there, and often dealing with aliens is a good way to increase your standing and learn some of their language. This is like a monolith or a ruin, and it's another way of increasing your standing with a race and learning some words. We're moving on really quickly now. This is something that took me ages to sort of accept, which is to hack these things to find the buildings quicker and easier.
Yeah.
Hack these orange sort of waypoint markers. What are they called? Signal scanners.
Okay.
Just build a bypass chip, because it's really, really simple in terms of you just need a bit of iron and a bit of plutonium, and those things are everywhere. And then you can literally pick what it is you're looking for, and it'll find you one.
Right. Nice.
So, and there you will have seen transmission, which, as I said earlier, that's my key. For often you can find a ship that way through a transmission, but a monolith if you're after a monolith, a colonial outpost if you're looking for like to trade or something like that. Which brings me on to races. So know your races as well, because there are at least 3, and I think definitely 3 main races, which are the Gek, the Korvax, and the Vy'keen, and they have 3 very sort of different styles of and cultures. So this is a Gek, and he is into trading. The Vy'keen are warriors, and the Korvax are scientists. So you need to know who you're dealing with, because again, it's knowing what you're going to get out of them, probably.
Right.
So you're going to want to trade with the Gek. Obviously, they'll be interested. This is they're good for getting credits from selling, working with in that kind of way.
As you learn their words, do you understand more of what they're saying?
Yeah, so these interactions, they often work like sort of choose your own adventure style things.
Yeah.
So you'll see, I think with this guy, you get on the left, you get a bit of his language, what he's saying, and any words that I know come up in orange. So I only know the word give here. And then you also get a bit of sort of flavor text to try and give you a helping hand in case you don't know anything. And then it's a case of choosing your answer, choosing your own adventure.
I like that continued interactions with people lead you to understand more of the world around you. That seems like a really interesting kind of long form mechanic to put into a game like
Definitely.
this.
And each planet seems to be sort of mostly affiliated with one particular species. I haven't found
You've thrilled that Gek.
I haven't found more than one I aim to please more than one species
in a system.
on any one planet.
Right.
So you know what you're dealing with, and then you find, if you want to do well with standing with these particular species, you want to look out for their monoliths and their ruins, because you go there and you understand a bit of their culture, and you understand a lot more words and stuff, and your standing just increases with them, which I think opens up better kind of, they'll offer you better upgrades, they'll offer you better deals with trading and stuff.
Nice.
So whenever you have a chat with someone, you need to make sure that you've got a space free in your inventory.
Right.
Because you just can't speak to them without a space in it, in case, I guess, they want to give you something and they can't. And also sometimes you'll come across someone and they're after something in particular, and they might want a particular element and you don't have it, and the options are either give them the element, which you can't, or just walk away, which you don't want to do because that just annoys them. But if you just press circle, you can just back out of a conversation. You could go and get that element, and you could come back to it and then give it to them. So here's just a friendly man. Just give me a blueprint. That's a really great day.
I like their hats.
Yeah, that is quite the hat.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously a very good trader.
Yeah, it took him ages to swap things for that hat.
Which brings me to my last point then, Nate, which isn't really a tip for surviving, it's just a tip for enjoying the game, and that is to remember that you are the first person to have seen all this stuff, and be amazed by it, take some time to just kind of revel in that. There are loads of moments in No Man's Sky, amazing sci-fi moments that just happening, which are just, they're not planned, they haven't been kind of, made by Hello Games for me to have a great set piece or anything.
Right.
You'll just be walking along and something will align like this, there's a planet kind of rising over the edge of the planet I'm on with my ship in the way. This is on a moon, the first time that I landed on a moon, and there's the
actual
moon's planet in on the horizon, and it's just to kind of like just really enjoy that and just think maybe no one will ever see this again. You know, not only am I the first person to be here, but I might be the last person to be here, and that's really, really cool. And I just think that that's sort of an amazing thing that I don't think has ever existed in a game before. I can't think of any examples.
Not in a place which is actually the same for everybody. You know what I mean? That they could go here, but they just probably won't.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is roundabout, I think, 17 tips for surviving the infinite universe of No Man's Sky.
You know, it's clear, man, that you've been kind of beavering away on the game because we've been wanting to make some videos on it, and it's clear that I don't know. I think it's obviously a bit different from everyone's expectations of the game, but also has kind of swallowed you in a way. And there's so much like the density of this information. A lot of that has bounced right off me. But
Absolutely.
I will start playing and then rewatch this video.
Yeah.
There's like a depth immediately to like all of the kind of survival crafting and other systems there. It's really exciting.
It is really exciting, and the game doesn't tell you a lot, and you know, that's part of the joy of it, is that you're not only exploring this universe, but you're exploring the game and you're finding out how it works, how all the systems work.
And I like it when those sorts of conversations then spill into videos like this one, and other people will be putting stuff up and on Reddit and on social media. So
what does this mean? You know, how did you do that? What did you find there? Like, all that kind of stuff is really, really exciting. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you're enjoying No Man's Sky so far. Let us know in the comments if you found anything cool or any particular tips for survival that I've missed off, and please do subscribe, as we've got loads more coming up from No Man's Sky and the world of PlayStation.